Hey, welcome back. In this video, I'll show you how to make the best of this course. So please don't miss this video. First things first, to be able to code in Python, I suppose you already know that you need to create .py files where you write the code, and to be able to write code in those .py files, you need a text editor, or ideally an IDE, which is an advanced text editor. In the course, I'll be using the REPL IDE. It's called REPL. It's cloud-based, but you can use whatever IDE that you like. It could be PyCharm, Visual Studio Code, Atom, anything. But if you decide to use REPL, then you need to follow the next video where I'll explain you from scratch how to use REPL and use its advanced features as well. But in this video, starting from now, I'll show you how to make both the lectures. So, each lecture will be consisting of me writing code in the IDE, in the REPL IDE, and I'll show you how I can share my code with you, and you can run my code directly. So this is made possible by REPL. That's why I'm using REPL. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's say we want to create a program with print out hello. So I'll show you how to create the program. We use print, etc. We run code with that. Now, if you want to access my code, you can go to the Udemy course content. So now this is a Udemy student account. I'm taking the course as a student. Video we are watching the IDE, and you should go to course content, the IDE lecture, the current lecture, and go to resources, and then go to complete code record. Now sometimes this window might not be opening because your browser might be blocking pop-ups, so you might get like a notification here that the pop-up was blocked. You should click that and then allow it pop up in your browser, or go to the settings of your browser to enable pop-ups. In my case, this was open fine, so this is what we see. If you go to show files, you will see this main.py file, that code I wrote in this lecture. So this is the completed code, and you can run it using that button, and you see the output. So that will allow you to actually compare your code with mine. So what I'm saying is that you typing your code manually in your own IDE, and I'll show you how to create projects on REPL if you choose to use REPL as your IDE. So I do highly recommend you to type code manually instead of copying my code, otherwise you'll not be able to learn. Learning to code is like learning how to drive. So in order to drive, you should be placing yourself in the driver's seat and actually try to drive. Back to the resources, you'll see that we have this empty REPL link. This link will point you again to a REPL, but the main.py file will be empty in the empty REPLs. You'd ask, what's the purpose of having these empty REPLs? Well, sometimes in some programs we might be using files. For example, we might be getting data from some txt files. So for your convenience, I'm putting these associated files in the empty REPL, so you can just go to for REPL. So if you go to there, you should create an account, and that will create a copy of this REPL in your REPL account. So there you'll be able to actually edit the code. So you'll have your own copy of this REPL, and you'll have these associated files, so that you don't have to download the files from somewhere else and upload them. But if you're using your local IDE, you'll see these files in the resources box. So sample.txt is the same file which is here in the REPL. So you can download that and put it on your local IDE, PyCharm, Visual Studio Code, wherever you're using. So to wrap it up, whenever a new lecture starts, you can fork an empty REPL and start coding there, But if you prefer, you can create a new REPL from scratch. This is something I'll show you how to do in the next video. So you have the option to fork or create a new one. And if you want to run my code, click the completed code REPL, and you can run the code with that button or show the file with that button. And if you want edit my code, you should go to fork REPL, and that will create a copy of my REPL to your REPL account. So a copy of my project in your account. So that's the case for every other lecture of the course where we are coding some resources into REPL, complete code REPL. And then you might also have the link documentation of the libraries we're using in those lectures, which might be something convenient if you want to look deeper into that particular library. With that, thanks a lot for following this, and see you in the next video where I explain you how to use REPL. If you're using your local IDE, you can skip the next video. With that, I say thank you and see you